Hello, Internet. Thanks for joining. And this is the project setup for the motor servicing solution that we're going to build together. First and foremost, I have logged into make.powerapps.com, and this is the landing screen. So by default, if you're in an organization, you're probably landing in the default environment. But what we need to do is we need to create a new development environment for this, or a sandbox environment. It's up to you, with a Dataverse store. So that's what we're going to do first. So from make.powerapps.com, hopefully you have got the access to go to the admin center. If you haven't, this step you may need to have your IT team do this for you and then give you access as a system admin to that environment. But hopefully you've got the access. Top tip, if you're really into playing around with Power Apps, but your organization don't really give you the flexibility that you would like, what I personally did is I signed up to Microsoft as a business user, created an organization, and it cost, I think at the time of doing it, which was a couple of years ago now, it was, I think, about £12 a month to have an organization with Microsoft. It came with SharePoint and all those goodies, with one employee, i.e. me, and it was about £12 a month. And then I could have access to everything I wanted as a playground, without restrictions. So food for thought there, if that's what you wanted to do, if you're on a huge learning journey and you don't have access in your organization to do so. So here's one thing to do. Go to the admin center if you want to create a new environment. Just give this a second. Okay. In here, we've got environments. So we'll click on environments, give that a second to load. You'll probably just see the default one. That's fine. So we're going to create a new one. And we're going to say dev. Call this a development one. It's not a managed environment. We don't need to worry about groups. UK is fine. That's where I am. Sandbox. I'll leave it as sandbox. Add a Dataverse store. Yes. Pay-as-you-go visual. We don't need that for this project. So that's absolutely fine. And then we can click next. Final things, URL, security groups. So for security groups, we'll just leave this open for now. Bad practice, of course, in most cases, but for the purposes of a demo, that's fine. URL, we'll give it a nice URL. So we'll just say dev.crmx.com. That's fine. Enable Dynamics apps. We don't need that. Deploy sample apps and data. Not too worried about that either. So we'll click save. It's throwing up an error currently because the URL dev is already taken. So we'll put dev Joe Haig. Okay, the environment can't be created because we need 1 gigabyte of database capacity. Okay, so we probably need to change the environment to development one. So we'll try that again. So we don't need a group, don't need that. Sandbox, we'll go developer. Dataverse store, yes. And next. URL, say Joe Dev. I'm purposefully not going to edit out any of the little quirks and issues that I face when doing this, because I think it's really good to see other people having the same issues that you're probably going to come across, and how to circumnavigate them. So that's fine. So our environment is now preparing. You can click the refresh button and that's ready. So happy days. So if we go back to PowerApps Home, give that a refresh. With any luck, sometimes this takes a little while to come through. So it's still not there. So it's still Contoso only. Okay, that's fine. So another way to kind of force this to go a little bit quicker, you can see in the URL at the top, it's got default dash and then the unique identifier for the environment. So I can grab that from here. Go back to PowerApps Home, replace that, and hopefully it just works. So that, yeah, there we go. So we're inside our development environment. Perfect. Just give that a second to load. So we're in the new PowerApps experience where you've got this AI goodness where you can create a plan. We're not going to go into plans on this video, but I definitely will do one because it's pretty powerful stuff and allows you to kind of manage and design projects quite nicely with the assistance of Copilot. But the first thing we need to do, so we're in our environment and then you need a solution. It's best practice. Anything you build in a solution. Normally like a project solution if it's something small. Larger projects tend to have multiple solutions with your different objects grouped together. So you might have a base solution which has all your tables or entities in, and then you might have one for apps. And what that does is it essentially means you can deploy um, updates or fixes faster by just individually deploying solutions into different environments or tenants. So that's what that's for. But we'll create just one and keep it simple for this. So we're going to go to solutions on the left. I'm going to click new solution. So we'll give it a display name of motor service and select a publisher. So we've only got the default ones here. So I'm going to create a new publisher. What this does is it gives every object in your solution, whether it be a table, an app, an environment variable, whatever it may be, a particular prefix. Is really useful because if it's unique and you're moving solutions in and out of environments, it means there's no kind of conflicts. So that's really good. And plus it's a good way to kind of stamp your name on something, if nothing else. So I'm going to call this Joe Haig and we'll say Joe Haig again. And the prefix will be JH. I'm just going to remove the spaces from that and click save. And it's selected Joe Haig there. So now what will happen is anytime I create a table, say I create a table called customer, it will be JH_customer. And that's what that will do. Okay, so we don't need any of that. That's all good. Click create. And happy days, we are inside our solution. So from here, this is where we will start to create our tables and apps, etc. It's really, really important to make sure every time you come back to this, you enter the solution first before adding tables. Otherwise, you're going to come up with a few like dependency issues and problems further down the line if you end up deploying it into a different environment or tenancy. So always, always, always think solution first. And then we can house everything together. It's essentially a nice wrapper around everything you've built, ready to shift. It's the box around the Christmas toy, if you like. So that's what we're going to do. Right, so that is our environment and solution all set up, ready to go. I'll see you in the next video where we'll start creating our entities or tables. Thank you for watching.